Paige, thanks for jumping on.
Thanks for having me.
No, always a pleasure. This has been rescheduled after rescheduled with illness, sickness, but we're finally here. I've been trying to come up with like a way to capture exactly what you do, and you've got like your finger in so many different pies. You do so much. You've got such an amazing ability to bring people together. How would you sum up essentially all of the stuff that you do within the community, across your profession as an entrepreneur? How would you sort of sum up what you do day to day if you were to give it like a job title?
Man, lifestyle creator.
Lifestyle creator. Nice.
Organic entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the organic bit. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, someone mentioned that the other day. I thought that was the biggest compliment.
Yeah.
I was just telling them about what I've been up to, kind of like what we'll talk about in this conversation, I guess. And his response was, man, you're just one of the most organic entrepreneurs I've ever met. And
That's
I just
nice.
thought, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's mean.
Yeah, that's kind of is my goal or journey. I just love creating.
Yeah.
I love being able to provide platforms for people, such as like the music part, which I guess we'll talk about. Neighbourhood Collective. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, fuck yeah. If we sort of go back to, Paige Fraser growing up 5 years old, what were some of those moments growing up which probably shaped you to be who you are today? Where when I look at you, I see someone that's, building their own life through taking risks, doing stuff which, is probably not comfortable to most people who have like the regular 9 to 5, and stuff like that. But you're someone that is really keen to sort of go against the curve there and just do shit which you're like really passionate about, which I think is pretty contagious. So yeah, growing up, what were those sort of pivotal moments in your life, and how did that get to where you are now?
It's a bit of a crazy story, that. It's pretty interesting. I was born in Auckland, which was where a majority of my family still live, my dad's side. So my mother and she took me to Australia, which I grew up in Bondi in Sydney.
Yep.
I went to school there. We didn't leave on necessarily like the best terms. We kind of had to go due to family violence or issues and things like that. So I was, at a young age, I saw a survival, or like a flight survival. I saw all the barriers that I guess can shape, someone's upbringing later on in their life, to challenges or I guess, stuff like that. So we get to Australia, and it was the best thing that could have happened.
Nice.
Growing up in Bondi, my mum was young. She was 26, I think, when we got there. And just been around so many different cultures and different, a lot more going on in such a broad, big place. Really, really opened my eyes, I guess, to different ways of living.
Yeah.
The influences were huge. Like I just remember going, like chilling down at the skate park, listening to my Walkman or my MP3 player back then and playing on my skateboard, and then seeing all these skaters just ripping up just living their life at the skate park, or the surfers,
Yeah.
And I guess that kind of shaped my openness to doing things that I enjoy and creating a lifestyle or income or just a way of living from that.
How long did you stay over in Aussie for?
Moved back to New Zealand when I was 11.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 5-6 years.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. And when you headed back from New Zealand to Aussie, back to NZ, what was the sort of key bits there? Did you identify more as like a New Zealander or more as like an Aussie or like a mix of both?
Such a good question. Yeah, that I identified as a mix of both. But at the time, I was still figuring that out. A lot of kids, didn't quite understand. Like, why do you sound like that? Because I came back with an accent,
Yeah.
So, it took me a while to kind of fall into the groove of being a Kiwi again, because I was very Australian. Like, I came back wearing FUBU and Dada, and everyone was like, why are you dressed like that? And they're wearing like Hallensteins and
True.
And I was like, had Dickies, and just like the whole culture shock was huge.
Yeah.
Even I come back to Coastlands, we went to the mall and we walk in and we walked to the other end, and I said, what's upstairs? And they're like, there is no upstairs. I was like, oh, what's downstairs? There's
This is it.
This is it. I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously I got comfortable.
Yeah. And so you, from there at the age of 11, were you always, when you moved back to New Zealand, were you in the Kapiti Coast where you are now, or were you still in Auckland?
Kapiti Coast.
You're in Kapiti, cool.
Stayed in Kapiti, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So I stayed in Kapiti until I was about 21. And then I went on a little tiki tour around the country. Went to Auckland, moved there where I started doing managing a bar, Cassette 9. Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out Cassette 9, yeah. Wow. Or maybe not, I don't know.
And then I read somewhere that when you were 21, you also went to LA to scout out sort of like the party scene over there and see how things were happening. What was the motivation behind that trip, if you just speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, definitely just to get out and grow.
Yeah.
And find, I was partying a lot. A lot.
I wanted more.
Yeah. And I just wanted to see, like when I was younger, watching all of those hip hop and R&B and like P Diddy's or the 50 Cents, Paris Hilton's, like that was the lifestyle that I was kind of influenced by, and pushed me to go to those places because they sold it. It seemed so fun. I wasn't really getting it here. Siglo was cool, but wasn't that popping.
What was it about that lifestyle, if we go on that quickly, of the likes of, these big affluent sort of superstars that was really attractive to you?
Freedom,
yeah.
Yeah, always having fun. That's kind of my chase, or my, what keeps me content and going.
Nice.
But so I get to America, and we travel around a bit, and just being able to like see these super clubs or go to these music events, and I always knew I was going to be a part of the music industry. I didn't know where I fit. I couldn't play a musical instrument to save myself. Yeah. I can DJ a little bit now, thank God.
Man.
Shout out Auntie L.
Let's go.
But yeah, so I just went to go, see what that's about and really live it, get a little taste. And yeah.
So what did you, when you went over there, what did you come back to New Zealand? Did you come back different or more inspired and kind of finding your why and what your purpose was?
Oh yeah, way more inspired.
True.
Yeah. And more confident about what I wanted to do. I was very confused as to how to get into that 9 to 5 or find that life, that job that I was excited about or wanted to do, which I didn't realize at the time, but now I can, look back and understand that that's what I was doing. I was just trying to find my feet. I was actually quite scared of, putting myself out there and getting a job, or when you're that young, you're kind of just kicking about doing.
Totally.
Yeah.
It is insane. I was having this yarn to somebody a while back, but I feel like throughout even my life so far, I remember growing up looking into the States and America, and it was probably how you were looking at it, like it was the be and end all of everything. It was all the movies made. It was like this eclipse of like ecstasy, essentially, when you look at it. It was like where all the celebrities were. You're like, this place is like fucking incredible. Yeah. But then I feel like even throughout my lifetime, I've seen almost like a complete switch, more so recently with like Donald Trump and stuff like that, when people look at America in a total different viewpoint than what it was probably when I was like 5, which is completely crazy to me, right? It's like the whole narrative of the US is almost, it's got like a kind of nasty stigma around it now. With you, there's heaps of friends I've chatted to. I was like, oh, would you go to the States? They're like, hell no. So yeah, I was just wondering, did you experience, I guess you probably went before it was like that, but yeah, have you seen the US sort of change, or at least the perception of America change in New Zealand?
Totally, 100%. I think at that point, and from the decade pre me going, they were the leaders in culture, or we weren't quite there. And I remember that from being back here 11 on LimeWire and, listening to what they're talking about, and then going outside and looking around and being like, there's none of that happening here.
Yeah, so true.
Where's that?
Yeah.
So that generation or that decade, those decades, I think it was that. Now it's changed, but my perception, I obviously haven't been recently, but I still think it is that. I just think people talk about the negative more than they do the positive.
For sure.
I don't know why we tend to go in that direction these days, but whatever you are looking for, you will find there, and that's what I love about America, and that's what I always love about that place. Whatever you want to find, it's there. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful,
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
that's nice. That's a crazy move though for like a 21-year-old to be like, I want to go over to the States to check out the party scene, sort of find myself. So once you arrived back in NZ again after that, what sort of journey were you on? Were you like, okay, music is the thing I want to do? Did you have an idea for your business, Neighbourhood Collective? Where did all of that come about?
Yeah, so while we were over there, I kind of fell into, or manifested, whatever you want to call it, that scene, like entirely. So we went to the clubs, and then we met up with the promoters, and next thing you know, we're going around, we've been taken, and we were in there, but it was just a bit crazy. We ran out of money. We're only 21. We had $10,000 each or something. So yeah, we come home, and I'm like, cool, we'll do this out of the safety of being home, right? And I had to get out of Wellington. Just the party lifestyle wasn't ending, and I knew it was, had to get out of there.
Yeah.
And so we get to Auckland. I had no idea what I was going to do. I got offered a glassy job, and this was the first job offer in a hospitality situation.
Is glassy? What's a glassy job? Is that?
Oh, so that's when you walk around the bar and you just collect all the empty glasses.
Oh, so literally it's a glassy job. I get it now. Okay, nice. Yeah.
So it was just like a complete stranger at like a cafe, and then I was just like, oh yeah, sweet, like I'll go give that a go. So I get to Cassette 9, and they hand me a bucket, and it's like from Pack and Save, like you do the shopping, like little grocery bracket, and then they're like, it's a busy night, all you gotta do is walk around and collect all the glasses. I was like, sweet, easy.
How good.
This was the busiest night that they have every single year. So we're completely rammed. And me being me, I just, put my head down and really tried to get every single glass.
Nice.
And then at the end of it, they're like, oh, you did a really good job. Like, do you want to work on the bar? And I was like, oh, I mean, sure, whatever, I'll give it a go.
Promotion on the first day. Let's go.
Something like that, yeah. And then, so I started working on the bar. And yeah, that was my ins to the hospitality world.
Yeah.
Where I knew I wanted to be, but didn't know how to get into. From there, Neighbourhood Collective. Actually, yeah, from there is where I met everyone in the music industry that I know. Not everyone, but a majority that I know now. I ended up working alongside a lot of artists and promoters, and building those relationships and those connections that still today are very valuable and help me out a lot. So yeah, then Neighbourhood Collective, we came back to Kapiti after 3 years of managing Cassette 9.
True.
and I started working at the waterfront bar.
Yep.
And being from Kapiti, I knew not much happens
Yep.
on the coast. So I was like, yeah. I put two and two together. I was like, why don't I do a gig here? Which is, where it all kind of began. But essentially, Neighbourhood Collective was supposed to be a clothing label. And that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Very early on and quickly, I realized how hard it kind of was. 4 years, almost coming up 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
You pretty much are creating something new, and then you have to sell a product or create a following, to believe.
Yeah.
While all these things and conversations in my head were happening, and the music events in Kapiti started popping off, and the name Neighbourhood Collective came from, I think it was a staff party at the waterfront, in one of the 5 a.m. conversations, and it was just like
In the kick on somewhere.
the kick-ons, and so that's how that came about.
And how would you describe what Neighbourhood Collective is to someone on the street? What do you guys do?
Music promotion company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does that look like in reality? So is it like you guys do a lot of gigs, managing artists?
Yes, we're a platform to showcase up and coming artists. Was the original. Now we've grown to, we want to be able to showcase a lot more than just our homegrown. The whole, it's about bringing people together, putting on music events, that party lifestyle, but turning it into more of an income as well as, creating, still being amongst, but now I'm working for it rather than, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's like an abundance of like amazing music talent across like Kapiti. You got like Reese Rich, you got Will McLean, you got Cam McLean.
Shout out.
There's so many amazing artists there. What have you seen to be like the sort of gaps which hasn't necessarily been uplifting like Wellington artists or artists in New Zealand? What are the sort of missed opportunities there that artists maybe aren't realizing?
Oh man, I think those gaps have been closed now.
Yeah. With Neighbourhood Collective.
Yeah. Oh, and other, there's a lot of other amazing brands and promoters that have, come about, like Skip the Boat, for example.
Yeah,
or
I love, dude, that guy does some
Herman.
fucking cool work, eh? I want to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I've been in his DMs.
Yeah.
I've already been like, hey, bro.
No. But so that actually kicked off around the same time, or maybe just before. I remember Herman coming to our first festival, Neighbourhood Noise, and he was so excited and just seen him in the crowd and seen him after, and you could see it in his eyes. He was like,
man,
he was sparked, ready to go. But so there's what's missing. I think. I don't think there's anything missing anymore.
I guess you're right. Like it's at your fingertips now, eh? If you are like a creator, especially with like the movement of or just the accessibility of social media and technology, right? Like everyone's got a voice in a way where they can pump out content and create their own profile and their brand from essentially their house. It's pretty cool.
100%. I think the most important thing is reaching out or collaborating and making noise, or just like the old school way, like set for example, just head down and doing the mahi and getting it done and finding your kind of audience or your niche and just gunning for it, eh? That's
how do you have like I guess when I see people like you, Paige, you belong to like a really cool rare group of New Zealanders, I reckon, and I'm lucky to have quite a few mates like you. But still is really on the rare side of things where they are, really pushing the limits for what they can achieve, backing something which they have created, whether that's a business, an idea, a product, a movement, creating festivals, managing artists, doing stuff outside of the status quo. How do you stay true to that vision with, everything else that is going on in the world? Because it's probably easier, right, just to find a job which pays more consistently, or you have that security. So like, what keeps pushing you to keep being you and pushing the sort of limits with what you guys do with Neighbourhood Collective?
Honestly, for me personally, it's finding more limits to push in the sense of, resilience is really important, but finding other avenues that give me the same fulfillment.
Yeah.
Neighbourhood Collective's always going to be my baby and always going to be my passion. I'm a lot more patient with it now. I used to be in a rush. I wanted to be the best promoter now. I wanted to have sellout festivals now. 4 years in, I've realised that's not realistic, nor possible. Everything has levels, and that consistent growth and that patience is a product that you need, or not a product, sorry, but the steps you need to be able to achieve. So we understand that, and now it's like, what else do I find enjoyment with? So we've got 318 Gym, which is based out in Kapiti, which I'm also a part owner.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so for me personally, it's having multiple things that excite me. So like a passion project, an income project, which is what I was telling you about before. I think that's what keeps my cup full on all of those.
Yeah. And is that a way you also like help support your own like mental well-being and stuff during times? Like, there's that old quote which gets reused so many fucking times, but it's like, I'm going to butcher it here as well, but if your work is stuff that you enjoy, you'll never work a day in your life. It's something like that.
100%. Yeah. And then there's the other one, health is wealth.
Health is wealth. Health is wealth.
And that's it. That's it, man. So it's just finding the things that you love and going for it, going for it.
Yeah.
And being realistic too, which I've had a lot of sense knocked into me, just coming up now. I've just gone on to 30, and man, what a good place to be. Shout out 30.
Dirty 30. Dirty 30.
Yeah. Or thrive, what is it? 30 and thriving, I don't know.
30 and thriving, something like that. I've just been throwing around, my partner recently just turned 30 as well, so I've just been yelling out the dirty 30.
Yeah.
That's me though. Happy birthday for them.
Yeah, thank you.
I think it'll be interesting to hear your thoughts, but with people who don't follow like the traditional path of just sticking and working for somebody else, or going to uni, doing X, Y, and Z, I do feel like in New Zealand, it goes back to the old like tall poppy syndrome, but I'd be interested to hear, have you experienced anyone ever trying to not necessarily stop what you're doing, but maybe cast judgments and shadows over you because of what you're trying to achieve, which is fucking crazy, because what you're doing is so amazing, and you've formed some amazing relationships with it. But I think there's a lot of Kiwis that look into people doing stuff which is different, and they look at that in like a sort of negative and in like a jealous way. Oh,
totally, for sure. And I'm just touching two things on that, like going back to the traditional way, or income and stuff like that. I think it's all so important, like whether it's about doing what you enjoy, right? Some people enjoy pressure, enjoy stresses. Some people are happy to live, go to work, come home, and families, and that's amazing, and it's all so equal. Like some other people will enjoy, like you say, creating or such and such. But to be honest, I know that those exist, and I'm sure they've come my way. I haven't personally put any notice or energy. It's kind of that low frequency or high frequency, I just don't. I don't look for it, so I don't see it.
Yeah, that's good.
Is that
Yeah, that makes sense. We just had Amelia Kerr, who's like a global superstar when it comes to cricket. She was like a child prodigy. Just won like the Premier League over in India. earlier this year, like just got like 250,000 followers on Instagram sort of thing. And I was talking to her about like haters, and she was like, I just don't look at them, you know?
Yeah.
And I think she's really smart because she's got the big social media following. She blocks comments from people that don't follow her.
Yeah.
So she doesn't actually see that noise where, you know,
Yes.
people might be like, oh, that was a bad game or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, I think there's definitely ways you can sort of work around that sort of stuff.
100%. And, you know, I'm a baby in the industry or in the social realms and whatnot. I'm still finding my way, or, you know, building. So for those ones who kind of have that different level of success would be so hard. But, you know, I couldn't even imagine. But I think doing like when you're just being like self-aware and confident in yourself, that, you know, there's always going to be noise no matter what you do, and just don't take any notice of it really, because it's just noise, right?
I'm sure there's been like a lot of challenges as well on the way to where you are now. What have been some of the biggest sort of barriers that you've had to overcome? I've got one here which I've written down, and I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on it. But I was doing some research. I saw that you got like attacked in Rarotonga. Is that the right Paige Fraser?
That's the right Paige Fraser. Yeah.
What happened there? Like you broke your jaw?
Yeah, 2 places.
Shit.
Thanks to that lovely person. Oh, what a time.
What a time.
Oh man, this is actually a really good story. So, well, shit story, but good story. So yeah, we're in Raro. It was like 12 a.m. I was catching that 2 a.m. Jetstar flight back to New Zealand.
Rough.
So I was out just, you know, living my best life. And wrong place, wrong time. There was a group of people who I was standing near while looking for some friends. And one of them said something to me, and, you know, I responded, and then their drink went flying, and the story goes on. And at that point, I didn't know my jaw was actually broken or anything like that. And someone spoke to like the bouncers and, you know, the authorities or whatever got involved, and they were just like, oh, we don't know what you're talking about. So I was just like, fuck this, I'm just going to get on the plane and go back home. Got here and...
So you did that 2 a.m. flight with a broken jaw without you even realising?
I did.
Shit.
Very naughty.
Was it like a confrontation, like a king hit, or did they just...
Oh, one of the guys had my dreads like wrapped in his hand, so I could not get away, and it was just full on. Yeah, there's like 4 of them on me. Fuck. And I was just kind of like, no, didn't. Yeah, so that was an eye opener. More so about just being aware of your surroundings, and it can happen to anyone. You know, being a bit more safe. Lucky enough, it happened to me. If that was someone who, you know, that could have put them off for travelling for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, for sure.
But I came back and I ended up doing a suicide charity boxing event after that. Mainly because after such an impact of that kind of happens, you do get a bit like, you know, jittery around people, or
True.
When someone comes at you, I was kind of like you know, because I was working in the bar and
True.
Still working on a bar with like a half broken jaw. And I was just, like, how am I going to kind of get over such a impactful experience? An opportunity came up about doing that suicide prevention fundraiser, charity boxing. And it just goes back to, like, you know, like, you got to go against it, like, otherwise, you know, you can sit and be like, why, or all those like things, or you can be like, fuck this, I'm gonna do something, you know.
Yeah That's crazy, because I think most people, if they have their jaw broke, they're not thinking about getting into a boxing match. You know, that's probably not the rehab or the remedy to get themselves better. But you're like, I'm gonna face the fire.
I'm gonna face the fire, man.
Do it to someone else. No.
No, I think it was just, what was it? Just as well, just kicking back, because I couldn't eat for like 6 weeks. You know, you weren't on solid, so it was just a way to get back into the gym. It was another way to boost my confidence, like going to the gym. I was part of 318 already at that time, and it was just more opportunity to be involved, like, with what I'm about anyway. You know, that's essentially what one of my businesses. So it was just like, you know, walking and talking, not just like being a part of something and not. Yeah.
Far out. That's hectic. And the road to recovery, was it pretty long for you with a broken jaw?
6.
You didn't have to get it like shown, like, was it like wired shut or anything? You didn't have to do that.
No Kanye.
Yeah,
shit
no
around
Kanye.
here.
Might have released an album, eh?
But I was very lucky in the sense of it was a clean break.
So it's down your chin.
It was down my chin. There's a photo if anyone wants to go and look up Paige Fraser attacked in Raro, Kiwi attacked in Raro. You'll see the photo. And I could actually push my chin. And I could
Yuck.
yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. And it would kind of, yeah. But it took about 6 weeks. Luckily, I didn't need...
surgery or anything?
Nah.
Yeah,
and I had another like fracture one over here.
Shit.
But yeah, be aware of your surroundings and don't get extremely intoxicated and probably, just walk away.
Just walk away.
Walk away.
Just walk away, guys.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth the smoke.
It's never worth it.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you never know other people's intentions in town, eh? There's been so many times in Wellington as well, like on Blair Street, where I've seen people in front of me just get king hit.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there was an altercation earlier, but I remember there's this one guy, I think it was in Dakota bar or something, and this guy was just like chilling with his mates in like a circle outside the sort of footpath, just got punched behind his head, and just seeing him like fall unconscious and land on his face, just blood everywhere, and the other guy just bolted. I do feel like Wellington's kind of changing in that sense. Like the energy does feel a bit more hostile. I don't know what that's from.
No, 100%, man. And I thought it was an age thing, you know, because I'm getting older or whatever. But you're still a spring chicken, so if that you're seeing it as well, then it is.
Yeah.
And oh man, that's something to touch base on as well, because I do think that, you know, our drinking culture and substance and has gotten a lot darker.
Yeah.
It used to be more fun.
Yeah.
Now I feel like you got to watch your back, and you know, or like you just don't know what's gonna happen. Town can be dangerous. Or,
So true, eh?
yeah, so it's just not even for me even worth. You know, it's just I'd rather stay home and play Fortnite.
Yeah, fair enough. Amen to that. What is your relationship like with drinking? I think as I'm starting to get older, and also realizing that like the trends around the world are showing a lot more young people are choosing not to drink, which I think is really interesting. Because like when I was a teenager, it was like that was like your priority. Yep. It was like, how am I going to get some beers as, you know, a 16-year-old, 17-year-old? Who do I need to speak to? Whose brother is 18 that can go to the shop and get us some booze? Like, how are we going to piss up this weekend? 100%.
And who's going to party with me for 2 days?
Yeah.
That's how long we have to drink for.
I know. And then you'd wake up after a massive night and you'd feel you'd feel pretty good because, I don't know, you're just young, you don't really get hangovers. But I feel like as I'm getting older, my like relationship with alcohol is definitely changing. And probably my partner, she doesn't drink that much either. So it's actually really refreshing, like more so than not. Prior to when I met her, waking up on like a Sunday or a Saturday morning, feeling completely, you know, fine and not hungover and weary. So yeah, I'll be interested in what is your relationship like with alcohol?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's another, not challenge, but a thing that I've found, like being in the music industry, you know, festivals and music events is my main thing, but I have been veering away from alcohol. Like, for me, there's nothing worse than waking up, you know, and wasting the whole day.
It sucks, eh?
Oh, it sucks
it's the worst
so bad.
feeling. And you get frustrated that you're feeling like that. You're like,
100%.
yeah, it's terrible.
And life's so exciting
Hard out.
these days. Like, I don't want to, you know. So I'm definitely veering off all of that stuff, because you can still also have fun without it.
Hard out.
If not more fun now.
Yeah.
But I think just with the mind, I don't know why as well, you know, I don't want to go to COVID or anything like that, but since that time, you know, mental health and well-being has been really tough for a lot of people, and you know, we've got a high drinking and high drug use or whatever in New Zealand, so to kind of like not you know, influence that is kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, totally. It's so true. And there's so many people that struggle with their mental health and depression. And at the same time, you know, what they're doing is, and it's a coping mechanism for sure, but what they're doing is every single weekend getting on the piss, doing drugs, and it's like, you know, that cannot be good for getting you out of the shit.
Exactly, and what we don't actually understand, I think, for me personally, is you're actually building habits.
Yeah.
And whether you think it's affecting you now or later is up to how deep you want to go and how you're going to get. But it is, you are opening yourself up for more low vibrational outcomes or energy for yourself, which not necessarily how you want to be.
Yeah, totally, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It is pretty crazy. It's yeah. I just think the work. Yeah, without, it'll be interesting to see, and you know, when we're all old and crusty and stuff, are young people still using drugs and alcohol the same way that we did?
Yeah.
100%. How it changes. Yeah.
And who stopped and who didn't, or did you stop or did you do it? You know, not
totally.
Yeah.
Going back to the Rarotonga sort of attack, what else have been some of the challenges that you've experienced along the way with, you know, setting up your multiple businesses and everything that you do? I'm sure COVID would have been pretty tough as well at times.
Yeah, COVID was hard. Hard thing with that, like, they kind of swept it under the rug. There was a lot of noise made about that particular incident, and the people who did it were on the authority side in that country. So that was a bit of a barrier, you know. I was just like, wow, you're just gonna pretend that, you know, these people didn't do that, and yeah, that was a bit rough. But
so did they sort of find justice or nah?
Maybe there was a lot of, I think that person got stood down from their job. Yeah, they did. So if you want to call that justice, you know, hopefully they just won't do it again, and I find justice in that. You know, think before you kind of act.
Yeah.
But other challenges, coming back from that, COVID, really hard push again, just like finding other directions, and navigating in the same, you know, way of work, but we went to more online stuff, so more like ciphers, or I started doing the clothing brand side of things, and then which pushed me to make a website, and I learned kind of, you know, just try to like upskill and keep myself busy in the same, keep myself interested, and you know, and learn new skills and whatnot. Essentially, is where you got to adapt. Got to adapt.
What sort of advice would you give to a young person who's keen to, you know, start up their own business, or they're not really sure exactly what they want to do yet? What like one piece of advice would you give them?
If you're not sure what you want to do, just live life. Just try everything, you know, until you find something that you think like, oh, I'm actually interested in this. Once you do, delve down that a little bit more. Don't be afraid to switch it up at any time as well, though. If you find something else, just you know, keep yourself content. And what would I say? If you wanted to start a business?
Yeah, if you wanted to start a business.
Dig deep. Just all in. Yeah. Don't look back. Yeah. Don't block out the noise.
Follow Gary V. Follow Gary Vaynerchuk on Instagram. He's a madman, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's good. I sometimes feel like he's a bit too much at times. He's just like, you gotta sell. You know, if you don't have money, you gotta like melt down your cutlery and just sell your, you know, silverware.
posting 3 times a day. What
Yeah,
are you like
I know,
doing?
I know.
Oh, man, just live life.
Yeah. He's I think he hits the right notes for some people, but some of his stuff can be a bit intense at times. But I guess that's his whole character and his persona, right?
If it works, it works, right?
Yeah, and some people absolutely love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched too much of the stuff, but I know I should, and I will. But no, like going back to what my business is and whatnot, I think my main thing is they all tie into each other.
True. Can you elaborate on that? How do they all tie into each other?
So, for example, we've got Neighbourhood Collective. My whole thing behind that is, bringing people together. Music's like a universal language. You kind of forget about what's going on in your life. You feel good. The other side of it is promoting these artists, giving them the platform.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. But it's all about well-being, honestly, for me. Like, even with the gym, if you're working out, you're kind of feeling better. With my latest kind of got 2 businesses that have just kicked off in the last 2 years and one in the last this year, which is a barbershop, which we're about to open at 318.
Epic.
Yeah, so that's again like you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
And then Gorgeous Escapes, which my partner and I actually started this super organic. Again, we showcase and promote beautiful stays and unique places through Airbnb, or from Airbnb, I should say, and we promote with our content, and we've been doing that for the last year or so.
Super cool.
But again, that's like promoting, rather than spending $500 on a night out in town, go away, fill your cup with good energy, not alcohol. But so yeah, it just all comes back, and I think that's what really ties it in for me. Yeah.
That's super good, and totally agree. I can't wait to go to a barbershop and get a bit of a fade, because there's no better feeling for someone's confidence if you get a fresh fade, eh? It's just the best. Yeah. I
don't know what it is about it, eh?
It's something about it. Like, I always, if I let my hair like grow out a bit, and it's getting a bit ratty, I'm like, shit, you're not the same person until you hop out after the barbershop, and you feel like you've got an extra 20% in like increased confidence to like talk to people better at your job, hit the gym harder.
I think I grew half a centimetre.
Yeah. I'm now 6 foot.
Yeah.
So true though, eh? It's you can't beat a good haircut.
Yeah.
That's all. And like, what does with all of that going on?
Yeah.
What does a standard week look like for you? How are you investing the right amount of time and all of these different hats that you're wearing?
Yeah, it's another crazy thing. It's literally whatever I'm feeling at the time.
True.
Man, I go off feeling, how I'm feeling that day.
Yeah.
I might put more into. It's quite seasonal as well, especially with Neighbourhood. That's more of my summer.
True.
I can't.
Live gigs and stuff.
Live gigs, bro. I can't really work in winter. Well, we're about to switch it up potentially, but So that's that, and just evenly trying to like delegate my time, all my days, to each kind of,
Yeah.
The gym's self-sufficient. That's just a growth that'll happen, slow, over time. Yeah, just.
What does have you got any like morning routines and stuff?
Man, that's one thing I'm working on.
Yeah.
As of like last 6 months, a lot more. I actually, besides the gym, I go to gym maybe like I try 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I'll do.
Nice.
I'll do 2 days a week at functional HIIT. So I'll do high intensity, and then I'll do 3 days of muscle building and just like
Yeah.
So that's kind of my as solid as my routine gets at the moment.
Nice.
And then I'm lucky enough to have a really flexible job where I do passive fire.
What is it like? What is passive fire?
Fireproof building.
Fireproof them. How?
Well,
How?
No, so we install like a bat or a silicon. We'll go around, say, after like the sparkies have put in their wires.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, real random.
Ah, true, buzzy.
Yeah. But so I'll do that. That's kind of like my 9 to 5,
Yeah.
which pays the bills.
Yeah.
Makes the money to, put into all of the. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Heaps going on. And for the next like 6 months, you're looking at doing the move over to Bali as well.
Yes, we are. My partner and I.
That's huge, man. That's awesome. What a spot. Have you been to Bali before?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Loved it. The reason why we're going over there is, it's close enough to be an easy move. It's affordable, and they've got super clubs and things, which
Crazy.
So I'm gonna go over there and chase some music.
Yep.
Neighbourhood Collective, see what we can do, as well as Gorgeous Escapes. Yeah, we'll be promoting, showcasing beautiful stays and unique accommodation.
Sick.
Just doing what we love, really, and getting away from the cold and the New Zealand noise. It can be so.
Yeah. Bali's beautiful, eh? They're probably 3 or 4 years ago now. Probably 4 years ago.
Yeah,
and it's going over there with the exchange of currency as well. You've just got. I almost felt quite guilty at times because you're so wealthy over there compared to other people, and like the price of a meal is like five NZ dollars, and you get this beautiful meal, and then you come back home and they'll be like, oh, did you like barter or anything? It's like, yeah. You tell them what you paid for. They're like, oh, you got ripped off. But it's like, I've always thought, what is an extra, $5 or something while you're over there on holiday?
Yeah.
To pay for a watch or whatever you're going to buy off these people.
100%.
When that's their whole way in which they, can survive. And $5 to them is so much more money. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited to be able to do that. And
super cool.
You go out here, and it's like $30 for
for a craft beer.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that, that change,
That's super cool.
Yeah.
So what's the plan of attack when you get over to Bali then? Like, how are you going to try and host some of those gigs? Have you got some networks over there already?
I've got some networks that I haven't tapped into. Not yet. We still got some time. So, but I'm not sure. I'm a real free agent. I like to show up and feel it out.
Yeah.
And so we'll just play it out like that.
Nice.
Yeah, at this point in time. With Gorgeous Escapes, we've got a few places that we've contacted and that have contacted us. So that's, yeah.
And does that mean you get to stay there for free or?
That does.
Oh, how good. That's super good, eh?
Yeah. So we'll create content for them in exchange for accommodation, or sometimes we will get paid for it, which is pretty lucky.
Nice added bonus, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's super cool. What's I love on this podcast setting goals.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the next, what can you envision being like a goal in the next sort of 12 months for you, like considering heading over to Bali and stuff? Yeah. Set some goals.
Oh, that's a good one. Definitely some overseas gigs, bringing the Will McLeans and the Reese Riches and the Wagwans. I want to take some Kiwis over to Southeast Asia, whether it's Bali or Vietnam, Philippines, Thailand, wherever works. That would be awesome. And do some Neighbourhood Collective events over there. That's probably one of my main focuses right now.
That'd be so cool, man. Yeah. So then that's the intention, is to bring Kiwi artists over there?
Oh, 100%.
Awesome.
Yeah, 100%. I just can't, get away from that. I just love giving the Kiwis the platforms.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Who is like your biggest sort of like music influence? Who do you sort of look up to in that sense?
New Zealand or?
Just, NZ and globally.
NZ, and globally. Sheesh. I love P. Diddy.
P Diddy, yeah, he's pretty mean.
No, New Zealand. Oh, I'm loving what everyone's doing. I really can't pinpoint, you know, one group or artist or team because everyone's literally killing it. Like promoters. There was actually, yeah. No, everyone's doing really well over here. I look up to everyone.
It's cool to see like Tom Scott as well make like such a massive impact now. I'm always wonder how he hasn't like fully blown up across the world, but I've seen he's been touring around London and stuff as well, which is pretty cool.
They love us over there.
Yeah. They're super good. That guy's just such a talent, man. Like, yeah, all the homebrew stuff growing up, just in my headphones.
YGB crew.
Yeah, 100%.
Shout out.
And I feel like everything that he would rap about was just so relatable around like growing up as like a young New Zealander playing basketball with your bare feet on the concrete, like all of that sort of stuff. It's super cool.
Yeah, and I think he has made it in that sense for that Kiwi culture, and for everyone that's relatable, he hit as high as you can go, and which is like big ups to that, and like inspiring a lot of artists who are out today,
Pretty special as well. He's like probably one of the first artists that really embraced the Kiwi accent. I forgot who I was talking to about that, but like when you listen to Tom Scott, he's not rapping with like an American accent. He's not trying to put on anything.
Yeah.
He's just fully embraced like, yeah, we're from New Zealand, we speak like this, and I'm going to rap and pronounce words that will suit, how I talk daily.
Yeah. 100%. He's got that Kiwi twang.
100%. That's super good. Paige, real keen just to hear, with all of the ventures that you got going on, all of your different businesses and outlets, how do you turn an idea into reality? What were the key moments that you took when you were setting up Neighbourhood Collective to turn it into what it is today?
It's a good question. That I guess most importantly is backing yourself. Finding your gap in the market.
Yeah.
Of how you're going to pursue, that task or that business.
Yeah.
That idea, and executing it, in ways that are tangible to you. So for me, it was, my local bars. Social media is a big help these days.
It's huge, eh?
But yeah, just backing yourself.
I think you've got like a really good ability, and you're so well known across like the Kapiti Coast and Wellington and NZ, of like bringing people together. Like you're such a natural like relationship builder. You're so good at making other people feel really good and bringing people together. What do you look for when you're like, I guess, entering sort of like professional relationships with people? Like how do you keep those relationships really strong?
I've definitely been very authentic and me, and in any situation, and being present. Just authenticity really is, I guess.
I think you're one of the people as well, like on Instagram and stuff. If you message, there's nothing worse than just being like left in the like unread folder or something. But like I've always appreciated for you just so like proactive with getting back to people, being real active, visible, and out there.
Yeah. Thank you. No, and that's like I try and make it. It's literally, it's not like a gimmick, or it's social media is a tool and it's a platform, but it's genuinely what I'm doing, or what we're real life to life. It's not just about building this thing. It's we are that thing. And it's cool to be able to. Thanks, bro.
We need more people being a bit more authentic on old social medias, I reckon. It's crazy, when you look across it and just people are, every day's the best day, every day's happy, it's all about achievements and sunsets and stuff like that, but it just paints like a facade of what it's actually like to live a normal life. because it's not all fucking sunshines and rainbows, eh?
100%. Maybe we should post some stormy nights.
Yeah,
No,
some stormy
no,
nights.
I love that.
Some bad sunsets.
Some bad sunsets. No, that's so funny. You're right.
Yeah. Hey, before we wrap up, we've got some quick fire questions. But where can people keep in touch with you and your mahi?
You can definitely keep in touch on social media. So Paige Fraser at Neighbourhood, at Instagram, or Neighbourhood Collective.
Nice.
For those artists. Gorgeous Escapes, if you want us to promote your beautiful spaces and places.
Man.
You can definitely find me at 318 Gym. And Steak Up Barbershop, which is due to open next month, July.
How good.
Yes.
Fuck yeah. We'll put links in the description for those. Cool. Some quick fire questions. Paige, what brings you true happiness?
Freedom.
Freedom, nice. Advice you wish you knew about when you were younger?
Quick fire. Sorry, I have to think about this. What should we... Make heaps of mistakes. And just go for it. Build good connections and treat people how you would like to be treated. One thing I do is try to be that person that I wanted when I was growing up, you know? Try to be that mentor or whatever it is. Yeah.
That's nice. What does legacy mean to you?
Legacy. You did good. No,
You did good.
no, I'm joking. Legacy is, we all have one, you know, and that's just what people remember you by, I think.
If you could change one thing in New Zealand, what would this be?
The government. No, I'm joking.
Oh, let's
Just
get
kidding.
political here.
Nah, I'm
Let's
kidding.
go.
I just thought that'd be funny. If I could change anything, sheesh.
One thing. Could be something like really serious. Could be a policy. It could be something just like
Can we lower
real
prices
casual.
on like the
Yes.
groceries, bro?
Yeah.
Like,
we can right now.
I just don't want to pay $4 for a broccoli.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right?
I can't even get cucumbers anymore.
Yeah, grow your own, I reckon. Grow your own.
Yeah, you're right.
What do you believe is the main thing that is holding back young people in New Zealand?
Fear of looking stupid or something like that.
So true. So
Yeah.
true. And we'll end on a quote from the amazing Ned Brockman over in Australia. Less than 100 years from now, you're done. Finished. Your possessions, achievements, body, all of it gone. Nothing will remain of your insignificant existence beside your actions today, which will ripple, however small, for eternity throughout the lives of many. I think that's from Ned, but that's a fucking badass quote.
That is a badass quote.
Cheers, Paige. Always a pleasure. Thanks for jumping on.
Make waves, baby.
Cheers.